Hello and good afternoon. It's 13:22 on the 30th of May, 2023, of course, guys. And here we are at the Curry Test Centre here in Edinburgh. I'm David. This is Practical Driving Help channel, a channel that helps you with the test routes here in Edinburgh and Curry, but also gives you good hints and tips about the driving test in the UK in general. Please click subscribe, hit the notifications. Remember, there's no money changes hands and it's not a payment subscription, guys. It's just a follow on the channel and just support. Okay, so we're going to head off now. This is Moiz's test today. As I'm saying, we're going to start off today with the sat navigation from the very start. Okay, as normal, guys, I'm going to set the speed on fast forward. It will be 2 times the normal speed, and you'll be alerted, of course, with the fast forward text in the bottom right corner of the screen. So, guys, as previously discussed in many videos in the past, we've discussed about this area, 20-mile-an-hour zone. We're now heading down towards the 40 restriction, but today we've got a little roadworks, as you can see, and Moiz is holding back for oncoming traffic there. As you can see the sign, as you can see that we have to give way to oncoming traffic on this particular occasion. And on the left hand side here we have the double bend, first to the right, and below the instruction for an adverse camber, which means the road slopes away in the opposite direction that you're steering. So if you're steering right, the road will be sloping to the left. That's particularly important during bad road conditions and icy cold weather. Okay, everyone, so we're now approaching the first major roundabout here at What University. You'll just see the sign through the trees there, and if you look closely, you'll see there's a little junction on the left hand side, right at the bottom before you reach the roundabout. Again, that's never really used, it's just for local residents in the area. And but I use that little junction so I can do 20 mile an hour when I'm passing that junction. And of course, we're passing this little junction now, and we're going to keep right, and the road markings are very clear on the road here to keep right to go ahead. Now, at no time during this manoeuvre round the roundabout that you're going to come back to the left lane. Keep to the grass side on the right, and when you check your mirrors and signal left to exit, yes, you can come round here. Be careful, this little bend can sometimes take you by surprise if your speed's too high. So that's how to deal with it at What roundabout. And now approaching what I like to call the parking ride. Again, it's a real smaller version of our last roundabout, and we keep right again. It's clearly marked this time for the parking ride, and even if it's clear, get your speed well down, guys. Second gear I would use on this junction. I feel third gear's just a little bit fast, and this is now heading up now towards Hermiston. and in this particular occasion today we're turning right for Edinburgh A71, and we class this as the third exit. Again guys, remember I've covered the approach and the exits on Hermiston in previous videos. So Moiz is correctly going round Hermiston Junction here, and of course using the spiral here to turn right for Edinburgh third exit. Keeping well left to exit, and of course using the left hand lane. Now it's only at this point you'll get information about your next manoeuvre, and in this case we've been told to turn right at the next roundabout for City Bypass South, so Moiz has correctly used his mirrors and moved over to the centre, and now moving over to the right hand side. Now it is possible to use a middle lane to turn right, and in fact a lot of instructors teach the students to use that, and I've actually done that myself. It's handy to know both routes, but it's also very important that you understand where both lanes are going. So when you get a good idea of the lanes, then you've got a better chance. Now we can have a look at the little sign that a lot of people don't really notice, because it's right after the major sign, and you can see there it's telling you what lanes to use for whatever route you want to take. So we're turning right here, and we're going to use the right hand side here and following route for south. So it's very important here that you keep in the inside. It says the south, and if you're using this lane, stay in the lane. Don't cross over to the left hand lane, because vehicles in there could be going in the same direction and heading for the same exit as you. The other thing about this roundabout is that a lot of motorists who don't know the roundabout, including experienced drivers, they tend to sometimes change lanes in front of you, so always be aware of vehicles in front of you crossing over and maybe cutting you off. Some people find it quite complicated. Anyway, as you can see at this point, the lane is beginning to spiral now in the centre. The right hand lane comes back from where we came from, and this lane also goes back from where we came from, but also in the south, and it's important that you don't exit on the left. But in this case you'll notice that Moiz actually moves over to the lane now. He's moved over to the left lane. Now I wouldn't have done that, I'd have kept right, for the reasons being as you can look in the illustration here, the chances of the left lane being occupied are very high. And also 50 metres down into the new road, you'll see that the left hand lane is joining the right hand side anyway, so therefore that manoeuvre over to the left is completely unnecessary. So anyway, we'll carry on, and if you've got any comments about Calder Junction, yeah, just leave a comment, and let's get on with the driving test. Guys, so we've popped into the travel lodge for a bay parking. Moiz was actually asked to do a reverse bay parking, but you can see on the right hand side there, on the way out of the car park, there is a lot of bays there available there. So we could have went round the left here and turned round to the right and came back out and used these bays over there, but Moiz has decided to go further in and to see if he can find a bay down here. Now we might be spotting some bays. It's difficult to tell what the student's thinking at the time. And you can see he's now getting deeper into the travel lodge, and I would try and avoid to come so far down, because this being a residential type area, there'll be a lot of spaces taken up. So he's found a space on the right hand side there, and luckily Moiz has got a little bit of experience, and you can see he's here doing a reverse to the right into a bay. So yeah, a little bit of confidence can do that for you guys, and getting to know the car parks is helpful too. But there was other options, and yeah, I don't think I would have selected that option, but Moiz has done well this time. Now just up here on the left hand side is the bays that Moiz could have used. I really do think that was an easier option. So just a tip there guys, have a good look around for the easiest option for your parking. Okay, so Moiz has now been asked to pull up behind the car in front, about a car length away from the vehicle, but I noticed that Moiz rolled back. You see him rolling back there and stopped, and he's having a little bit of an issue moving off here, I noticed. It's not the first time he rolled back. You'll probably notice if you look in the camera picture, you see him rolling back a little bit there again. And so of course this is where we start panicking guys. So best to handbrake and make sure you've got the gear. But look again. Again, he's came back a few inches, and he must be feeling pretty bad, but he's been having problems getting the gear, and this is where it's not been correctly in gear. And after he relaxed for a few seconds, he was then able to move off, but I think he had a little blind spot check fault there as well. So we'll see how the examiner views that at the end of the test. So this time, after stopping guys, we debriefed by the examiner on the emergency stop. So just a reminder, when the examiner raises her hand and gives you the signal to stop, then you must make sure that you stop the car as quickly as possible under control. Make sure you check both blind spots before moving off. I've just crossed over from Gillespie Crossroads into Westerhales Road, heading towards Clovinston Junction. Now remember guys, briefly, the third exit on this roundabout's ahead. The right turn on this roundabout is the fourth exit. So you have to be careful, it's slightly different from what you're probably used to. Let's have a little look at this approach, because I've covered this roundabout on quite a few occasions. Now, Moiz was asked to follow the road ahead, third exit. As you can see, the third exit is actually ahead here. Now, this sign is backed up by another sign that's clearly showing you that the third exit is ahead. So we have to keep left. But I did notice in the video, if you look back, Moiz slightly moved over to the right hand side. He checked his mirrors and I suppose was going to signal right there. Because this is a common mistake. People are thinking the third exit's on the right on this roundabout. So the examiner did remind Moiz of the route, and that's okay. Well guys, Moiz is just sitting with the examiner right now, and he's been told that he's passed his test and he has 4 minor faults. 4 minor faults. They were all for moving off. A couple of blind spot checks and messing about with the gear, trying to get it into gear before moving away. So there's nothing really that the video highlighted much. So therefore, yeah, it's just moving off and blind spots. So well done to Moiz. Let's have a chat. Okay guys, David here again without the hat, in case you don't recognise me. Anyway guys, here to congratulate Moiz on his driving test today. 4 minor faults. We talked a wee bit about the faults were happening at the moving off. They were all in the category of moving off, where on one occasion there was a complete miss of my blind spot. 2, the blind spot was done, but then there was a bit of a delay before moving away, and therefore we had to check the blind spot again. So, and the last one was a wee bit fiddled trying to find first gear. So maybe a wee bit of panic at that point. Yeah. But congratulations. So what do you think about the test, Moiz?
Yeah, it was great. Like I believe like the weather was great as well. So like I could see like clearly as well. So like usually you don't get it in the Scotland. And yeah, it was great. I think like,
the examiner was you're quite happy with the examiner, and
yeah, I think he was very clear with his instructions as well. So he was like telling you all about it before.
So what did you tell of your experience driving in the UK? So you came here and you on an international license, yeah? And you didn't really drive much during that time. How long have you had the
international license? So it's for 1 year. Like
from the date that you came? How long was that?
It's like 1 year ago almost. Like
right, so it's nearly a year up. So you've only maybe driven a couple of times in that time. Yeah, so that was good, because there wasn't really enough. You only did 10 hours with me, was that right? Yeah. So it was a 10-hour, but I know that Moiz has been looking at a lot of videos, and he's been doing a lot of stuff with his friends as well. So there's been a lot of private practice, and that does help, you know. Anyway, I'm not going to talk all day. I'll let Moiz get away and celebrate his success, and I'm going home for my dinner now. So guys, take care, and I hope to see you next time.
Yeah.